Okay, welcome back to day 143. I know this because I just uploaded the other one. Usually I sleep in between now or then and now. But I realized something. I don't want to have to go get a vaccine and then not do this. I have to get up early. You know? I'm just gonna do it right before I go to bed, so that way it feels like 2 different days, you know? Hope that's not cheating. We'll see what happens. Can't see the difference. I'm now giving you a thumbs up earlier this point. That is a thumbnail. It's not. I'll remember what it won't be. What if I don't want to hold up my phone anymore and I just put it down here and I'm like, you know? I don't know why I did this. You know now why I sleep. I'm tired. I had to watch back my previous video from yesterday and try to make all the barking really, really quiet. More quieter than me talking. That took a very long time. So right now I'm really tired, so maybe I should do this, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just do it tomorrow. I done it right after my other vaccine, which was up for longer. Was this a mistake? Maybe. Anyways, I'm gonna go to sleep. Instantly wake up. Go get a vaccine. Come on. Maybe. I just don't think I can get an allergy shot and a COVID shot. Well, technically 2 shots. Allergy shots are 2. 2 allergy shots. And a COVID vaccine shot in one go, you know? And I need to talk to the people being like, listen, I didn't spell my last name wrong. It was you guys, and you changed it in the system, so what's wrong with my ear? Why is he irritated? Maybe because we don't want to touch him. Yeah, he irritated. He got a bump on him. Why? He calmed down. He's back at it again. I love that because I said back at it again at the Krispy Kreme, and my oldest sibling goes, what is that their slogan? And I'm like, no. I actually didn't say it. My other sibling said back at it again at Krispy Kreme. I know what she was saying. And then my oldest sibling was like, what is that their slogan? And I'm just like, is it? It should be now. Just like with WAP, they should have gave that Viner a few bucks. Just a little bit, just a little money. No money for everyone, you know? I know dangerous spiders here in my state because I looked them up before. How many dangerous or deadly, just dangerous, how many dangerous spiders are venomous? How many venomous spiders are in California? You know? The dino DNA. That's right, baby. Sometimes my brain really just like, Ethan's right. That's exactly how brain sounds. Ethan. Right. Yeah, we go to like Renaissance festivals every year when I was young with my dad, and I always remember the porta potty. No, and it was not good at all. I forgot what I was saying. My sibling wanted to know who's showering first. I'm like, just shower, just go. Like, if you are waiting for me, just go, you know? I need you guys to see my whole hair in the view before I bring it in again. Because I need you guys to see how lovely it is right now. I just put water in my hands and push my hair up. It's gonna fall very soon, but anyways, my sibling texted, but more importantly, my stomach hurts, and I'm like, ow, why does my stomach hurt? And then I realized earlier I ate not one but 2 good humor bars because I'm a slut for good humor bars. My stomach hurts now. It was quite a few hours, but it's the only thing I can think of. So I'm like, dang it, you know? Yeah, low-key, when my friend texted me earlier, I was like, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, did you? So yeah, fun fact, I got really worried. I'm like, oh my god, what if they seen this? Oh no. Anyways, point is, I'm really tired. My hair is long and it bothers me. Yeah, like it doesn't look that long. Yes, and I understand it. But with it being this length, I wash it, but I don't like conditioning the sides because I'm like, it's not hair. When it's like really, really shaved, I'm like, it's not hair. Don't need to do anything for it. But then the longer it gets, I'm like, okay, now I gotta switch it to shampoo, maybe condition it, you know? Anyways, I want to eat a bagel. Maybe a banana too. Because I saw some of the bananas, but I think we got them today, so I don't think we're supposed to eat them. Unless, you know, well, I mean, don't suck on banana peels, you know? But I meant, because we got it from the store, don't know who touched it, so we usually like to have them sit out for a little bit. I had a nightmare last night about going to school. That was bad. It was odd because it was like at school, but then I was at home, like it was our home, but then there was like people, and then I just never showed up to class because I was with these people. The whole thing. And then it's like, oh, if you don't show up, and then it was like a class though. But it was also supposed to be my house. It was like, you know, like when it moves from thing to thing, but it makes sense somehow. Like one time in a previous dream, I was in my room, but my room was also a department store, a giant store with a bunch of clothes in it. And I'm like, So there was just a bunch of clothes and a bunch of racks, but it was still technically my room because there was still my dresser. Because I was like holding on to my dresser. Is the idea of my dresser for dear life. Because I kind of knew it was a dream because I'm like, I can do whatever the hell I want. So I decided to do whatever the hell I wanted. And I'm like, I'm keeping this dresser. But my dream's like, no. Yeah, too serious a moment, maybe. What really, really scared me is back when I was little. I had a bunch of nightmares constantly. And I remember the one day where I was looking in the mirror and there was a demon ghost like situation. I didn't see them lifting me up. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so scared. Because it was build up to this, a build up. And then I was like, oh my god. And then I'm like, no. So I'm like, put me down. And they're like, what? I'm like, no, you put me down. Very childlike energy from these guys. I'm like, you put me down. So they put me down. Well, the one put me down, the other one was laughing, stopped. And I was like, okay, I'm going to, like, we're leaving, goodbye. And I went back into, like, I did it, like, through a door, and I woke up. I fell back asleep. But every time, for quite some time, with that one, there's this, like, security, and I remember getting over, like, certain nightmares because of that. But with others, I remember one time where I'm like, this is a dream. I can do whatever the hell I want. And I remember very clearly there's a guy's voice going, no, just give me control. I'm like, no, my dream, my control. And I just like, no, don't do it. And that continued for a little bit. And I remember one time just being like, no. And they're like, fine, then you control all of your own dreams. And laughed. And I just never. And obviously, I don't know, it's like a dream god. But what I'm saying is that, I think maybe that's when I overcame certain things in life. Because, you know, childhood. And then, well, maybe that was it. But it was just so, I remember it just so clearly of just like, no. And then finally it's like, fine. And then I remember years later and I did it and they're like, please. And I'm like, no. Still my dreams. So I'm like, who's trying to control my dreams? Just saying. But, and then I learned that, is it Greek mythology, believes in a dream god that controls all the dreams, and one person controls all the like nightmares or non-human characters in dreams or something. I don't know. And I'm like, are you the fuckers I'm dealing with? Are you the ones? Oh yeah, so anyways, the porta potties at the Renaissance Festival was so bad, and I would wear a long skirt, which was also not good, so we actually switched right before the pandemic. We tried a different one in a different state, because we're close to different states, and we went to a different one, and we went there and we're like, oh, it's the last day of the last week, like this is the very last day it's open, and we're like, the porta potties are gonna be horrible. And then we go, real bathrooms, what? And I'm like, real bathrooms, okay, because remember, if you're dressed up and you go to a wrestling festival that's far away, a few hours away, and you don't pee when you're there, and you don't want to pee in the McDonald's on the way home because you're dressed up, so either you need to change in the car, or you need to go dressed up into the place, or you just need to hold it all the way till you're home, or you gotta go in the porta potty. Anyways, dream gods. Should I look them up? Should I? Maybe. I also remember a dream where there was like a god with not horns, maybe horns, but what do you call them? Antlers. And it looked like a tree. And he moved, and the tree lost a bunch of like the branches because he moved, and you're like, oh my god, there was a book and stuff, and that happened with like other things where in my brain it's just like this, it's like a battlefield and this and blah blah, and I'm just like, should I remember this? Because like in the dream, my brain's like, remember this, and then I'm like, okay. And I remember another one where it was a date, a very particular date, and it was someone's birthday or death day. I looked up, I couldn't find anyone, but I'm like, why do I remember this? Who died on this day? Like, clearly no one important. I didn't see it, and no one was born on that day either. And I'm just like, okay, because like it was a completely different thing. I was like in a movie theater in the dream, and then finally like this day, and it's like, remember it, like in my dream, it's like, remember this. I'm like, okay. Have you tried ever trying to remember something in a dream that your dream makes up? It is like trying to hold sand, you know? I'm like holding on to it, wake up, look it up, fall back asleep. So I still had it in my head, like, looked up, like, couldn't find anything on it.